Hi, my name is Melina R Salifoski, and I am Turkish Macedonian Rom. My father is from Prilep, Macedonia, and he's Romani. But my mom is Turkish, from Izmir, Turkey, not Rom. So I'm married with my husband. I got 2 kids. He's also from Izmir, Turkey, and he is not Rom, but I got 1/3 gypsy kids, so it's nice. My father came here from Prilep, Macedonia in 1967. First, my grandfather's best friend came here first with his family and was like, you know, come on over. So when Tito died or whatever happened, everyone in Yugoslavia was basically free to do whatever they wanted to do. So he went to Vienna and worked, got the visas, and moved everyone over here. So we were the second family, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my father and his 3 sisters, sorry, all came here, and then we started bringing slowly everyone else. And then I think the story, as I am told, was they all lived in one apartment, and then slowly they started to get their own apartments, but it was like a big whole family thing. So, yeah. My father's mother back in Prilep, Macedonia, and my grandfather were tobacco farmers, and I think we owned land that they were able to, you know, do the tobacco thing, right? And then in Vienna, when he moved to Vienna to get the visas and stuff, he worked odd jobs here and there to just gather money for us to move over here. And when they moved here, my grandmother worked in various factory settings, sausages, staples, whatever, she did her thing. And then my grandfather worked as a janitor, and he also tried to own his own business successfully, maybe not successfully, and then had, you know, 4 buildings here. Don't know what happened to those. And then that's it. Funny enough, my father didn't start playing the drums or were like into that kind of stuff until he was 16. Buddy Rich was my father's inspiration. I think he did a thing with Gene Krupa show where he dropped the drumsticks and did something, and bada bing bada boom, my father was inspired. So he taught himself how to do the trap set and how to play the dumbek. And the first crowd that he worked with was with his actually own family. There's another guy named Sato, which my father calls Dr. Lau, and then another one, Kennedy, who is not with us anymore. But they played for a lot of the Macedonian people here, who are also from Macedonia, maybe Prilep, Skopje, but they're not the Roma. A lot of the Roma community weren't here yet when they first performed. But they did a lot of stuff for them. And that's how it all started. And now he's one of the most well-known dumbek players here in New York City. Basically, when I was born in Manhattan, right? The rest of my father's cousins and family were all born in the Bronx. So I was already the outsider as it was, because I wasn't with the community. I wasn't constantly with them. So growing up, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together, because my mom was Turkish and my father was just Macedonian. I didn't realize we were Rome until maybe I was in middle school. I always thought I was Spanish because that's how I looked. All my friends were Spanish. So I guess like that kind of attributes you kind of take from them were a part of me now. So I thought I was Puerto Rican for like 10 years, you know, so it's great. But it kind of hit me when I went back to Macedonia and Prilep. I was like 12 or 13. And that's where I saw how my father lived, which is like a room this big with his parents and 3 other sisters. Back then, I could see how bad they were living versus if I just went 2 blocks down, it was like pebbled streets, beautiful stores, this, that, and the other, you know. So I saw the difference of how my father lived and how my grandparents lived and how any of my family lived back at home, which wasn't great. And I was just like, this is not cool. And that's when the line dancing became a little bit more prominent for me. The sense of community there is much larger. You could feel it bigger, you know, and so that's where my love for my own community, and where it's like, oh, we're Rome. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not some random person. I am Rome from a minority group that's not being well taken care of. And then when I come back here and I hear the word gypsy, 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 I'm like, wait, nah, wait. That's not it. We're Romani, we're not gypsy, you know, because I don't live in the dirt, and I don't live, you know, bringing up my skirts and stuff. And it really solidified in high school when we had a Romanian girl. It wasn't a lot, but it was just 2 times was enough for me, where we were talking about the Holocaust, and I made sure my teacher said Romani, not gypsy, and not make a little comment about it. At least give a good 10-minute discussion about not just the Jewish people, but the Romani as well, you know, that died in the Holocaust. So she did do that, but then after that, I think stunt, this girl who was Romanian was like, you know, Melina's community, you know, gypsies are dirty, they bring up their skirts to get money. And I think she said some other comment, and I was so damn pissed because she did it twice in like a 3-month span. I went to the school and they did nothing about it. They were like, well, you know, you don't know if she said it, you don't know. I was like, but people talk, you know, why are they gonna lie for, you know? So, and that's when it kind of solidified, like, this is not cool. I may be small, we may be a small community, but it's not fair, you know? Awesome. And the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. Awesome, yay. Good job, mamas. I think I have a lot of thanks to the people my friends were, right? So, not for nothing, I hate to say this, but I'm not really friends with the Caucasian group of people. I always steered closer to the Hispanics and African Americans, and my friends were not the type to be quiet, right? So I kind of learned from them to be proud of who I am, and because of them, and the job that I work at now also, taught me that unity and equality don't come from just sitting back and not saying nothing. It comes from speaking out loud and just educating people as you go along. So I work for the Children's Theater Company of New York City, and it's actually a Baha'i-inspired organization. So basically what our motto is that we use theater as a tool for moral reasoning. So all of our musicals are based on like a value or virtue. I started with that program when I was 12 years old. Actually, my boss now is my father's friend because she's cousins with his bosses. So that's how it works. So I met her at a bar mitzvah when I was 11, and she was like, come on over, audition. So at 12, I started there, and I've been with her ever since. I'm now 32 with my own 2 kids wanting to join. But a lot of the things that we do is ABCD community, which is asset-based community development, where we take the community as it is, and we work with what they have to create a community for these kids. My community here in the Bronx, we're Muslim Roma, and we basically follow every other Islamic tradition there is, which is like we do the circumcision parties, we do the weddings. There are some traditions that we do still do. I don't know if it's Roma or a Muslim thing, where, you know, after you get married, you do the deed, and then, you know, you got the blood sheets, and then you go party. Some of that still happens here in the Bronx or in the community. I don't know if they really do it back at home. I think it's just depending on the family more than it is. Like me, I personally won't do that ever. And I never had to do it. Thank God. My children, no. A lot of my cousins, would they do it? Never. Me personally, I don't really follow the whole Islamic. I think culturally I'm Islamic, just not, I don't pray, I don't do the shamiyas, I'll do the respect thing, I'll go to the jami and I do it, but I'm more inclined to unity and equality in religion and the way of life. You know, I don't believe that God will tell me that these things are right and wrong, that he would just steer the path for me to what's right and wrong, you know. So you can't tell me women can belong in the basement where the men belong on top, you know. That's just kind of borderline not right with me, sits right with me. Language wise, I speak Turkish because that's what my mom spoke to me. My father never really spoke to me in Macedonian. My grandmother refuses to speak Romani. So if you ask my father, he won't know any Romani, or I think his sisters. Maybe one of his sisters might understand it, but my grandmother understands it, won't speak it, you know. But the rest of the family speak Rom, at least a lot of them do. I don't know if their kids know it or whatever the case is, because not around as much as I would like to be. But Turkish is another big one, and Macedonian. Right now, we need our children to learn Romani. My kids don't know, I don't even know it, you know. And that sense of community where we just meet up every week and, you know, do something together, right? So the idea is where we take a couple of songs, we kind of break it down into like the Romani language, right? And then teach them weekly with the kids and have the mothers and fathers involved every week. Bring the snacks, do this, you know, volunteer and help out in any way they can, you know? And then do this for 2 or 3 months. We meet every week and try to build that sense of community that we've been craving, as well as learn the Romani language with the kids and adults as well. I think adults can join. I know some of them are like, I want to do this. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, let's do it. But at the end of this 3 months, we'll do like a 1-hour performance of the kids learning showing us what they've learned, dance and music and song-wise, right? And goal is to regain that community that I think we're missing here, that they have it back home and we don't, you know. And then hopefully move to the other communities in New York City and try to be aware that there's not just the one community here, because I always thought it was just us. And then I learned that you existed, and then I learned that, you know, you meaning Petra existed. And I learned that, you know, there's Roma in Queens and Roma in Brooklyn. I'm just like, whoo, mind blown, you know. And this was like maybe in 10 years that I learned. I'm 33 now, so 10 years. I was in my 20s knowing that there's more than us. It's sad. A little bit.